I guess. So, hi, everyone. This is a one-on-one shot featuring two players, actually. Um, so my name's Mackenzie. I'll be your dungeon master for this evening. This is going to be a shorter game because this is more focused on character development and the growth and kind of bringing either stories to the beginning, stories to a mid, or stories a full circle end. If anybody in the guild ends up watching this who likes how I do it and has something that they want their characters to accomplish, please let me know because I would love to be able to sit down and make that happen for you. Won't give you a level, but at least you'll get some experience and maybe a little bit more story for your character, and that goes for my two lovely players that are joining me here tonight. So why don't you introduce yourselves? We'll go from left to right.
Um, I guess. I'm Eric. I'm playing. I guess Zed is the primary character, but I believe Moira is also going to be featured in this. His betrothed.
That is correct. So we have Sajetta and
Hello, I am Pie Guy, and I'm playing the best damn character there ever is, ever will be. Whatever the end of that is. My freaking Durakar Thunderhorns, Minotaur Barbarian, best boy.
well, ironically, the end of that is was. And was is factual because the two of you are no longer on the mortal plane, and definitely no longer in Erden anymore. However, our story does not begin with where the two of you are. Our story actually begins with Miss Myra, who is, I'm assuming, panically finding her way to the Dungeon Delvers Guild after Sajetta didn't return home. So let's go take a look at where we find her at.
I didn't know exactly where you were gonna start this. Is this? Does she know, or is she still unaware? Taking care of flying cat and the little dragon.
So sorry, let me preface that a little bit more. I didn't write that down. I knew I was forgetting something. Um, Myra, you would have received word from the Dungeon Delvers Guild. A pink tiefling would have shown up at the door of Tabby's home, informing Myra that Sajetta is no more, and his belongings, along with his friend who was lost in the fight, are with the guildmaster in his office. So Myra would have got that information from the pink tiefling, who would have left with a very somber looking blue tiefling who seemed to probably have a good look of determination in his eyes. And as the two of them wander off, um, uh, what would she like to do?
Mm. Um, my headspace again. She would be start breaking down crying. See, talking about wedding how they were in the middle of preparing for wedding vows and how the wedding preparations were going along and well not time. Yes, wedding is not necessarily the centaur term, but joining or something, whatever the centaurs would call it.
Yes.
Uh, would tell the pink the tiefling and blue tiefling how it's like they don't join unlike unlike you they don't humans they don't join with rings that they have different ceremonies and about fuck with the weddings are with like the two couples drinking the same ceramic pot made by the groom's family. And she would, after a short time, she would wait, like, rings. Wait, rings. What was I? Did his pouch of rings come back?
How do rings come back? The pink tiefling would kind of give her a funny look and say, well, Ember here got all of the items that were on the people who had fallen and brought them to the guildmaster. Last I saw, he was in his office talking to someone. So we just left the items there. The ring, I guess, really any ring, as long as it's really any ring, as long as it's magical, would be able to survive something like that. So I would assume rings would be okay.
Thank you for your for bringing this news up. Thank you for your service. Hope you find your life your life goes well and you find someone to care about.
I'm sorry for your loss. And you just see a very somber expression on the pink tiefling's face, and she kind of like wraps her arm around the blue tiefling and says, if you don't mind, I need to take this one home. And she'll just slowly start guiding the blue tiefling away from the door.
That's when she would have to try to wrangle the white true dragon and flying cat. They don't go to
um for the sake of brevity, you were able to get them to kind of settle in for an unexpected nap, which probably involved either some magic or just a slight conk to the head. And I'm sure Cinnamon or Happy probably wouldn't be too opposed to, if you bribed them with some food, that they would just chill for a little while. So with the two that Myra was set to babysit, where did she go from there?
She would grab her satchel and kind of make her way across down to the guild hall.
Wonderful. So Moira hurries through the crowded streets of Virgin City, just around the corner to the Dungeon Delvers Guild, pushing her way through the doors. The guild hall is more or less empty. However, the office in the back, which is known to be Takarov's, is slightly ajar.
I'm not sure. She took the Cinnamon and Happy with her. She would find some place to put them, or if they are.
My apologies, my Discord suddenly crashed. The last I heard was you weren't sure if she took Cinnamon and Happy with her or not. I would be under the impression that her, especially being a druid, would be able to convince them to stay at the house, so she would have arrived alone.
Okay, so she would arrive alone. She would walk over to the door and knock on the side of the door.
As you bang on the door, you hear a muffled voice inside, but you're not really too sure what it is. So as Moira opens the door, a figure is standing on the other side. Probably not somebody that she would expect, but maybe someone she knows. Probably somebody Sajetta had talked about. And as she opens the door, she hears, "Welcome to Potion and Lotion." No, sorry, that's not my store. This is an Oxen. Takarov stepped out. Is there something I can help you with? And of course, in front of you is the one, the only Delric Nightgale.
Delric, you far from home?
One's got to come restock on some supplies, maybe drop off a few potions and lotions jobs, and visit Takarov. He's stepped out for a little while. Is there something I can help you with?
My husband to be, Cheddar. He didn't. I was told he didn't make it. His stuff was here.
Oh. And you see the normally bright, excited complexion of the high elf drops significantly hearing this. And a small look of realization moves across his face as he looks over. And on the table is items kind of separated out. On one pile, there is a ring, a belt, and a large greatsword with a maul that is fancy and very detailed, decorated. And on the other table is a bone, if I remember right, it's a bone longbow with some magical arrows and a ring, and I feel like he had one other thing. What was it?
There was the braces of archery, horseshoes of speed, I guess I don't know. Dark vision goggles, dragon hide armor. That would be one of the big things. A cloak of nature's mantle. Let's see here. That is not magical. Not magical. The bow is He did have some bone bows, but those dragon bone bows, but those would have. Oh, I don't think I considered magical.
Okay.
So centaur bow is his bow is there.
Okay.
Dragon bow. Potions of healing, are those magical?
They are in non-magical containers, so if they were
Yeah.
there, they are splattered all over the ground.
Immovable rod, ring of free action, ring of jumping, and the ring that is most important, the ring of wishes.
So all these items that you had just listed are laid out in a very delicate manner on the other end of the table. It looks like whoever placed those there held some form of sentimental value to them, as if the people who were attached to these items were very, very important to the person who laid them out. And Delric kind of turns and gestures and says, Takarov's been playing with these items. Maybe not playing, I guess that's really not the best word. But he took his liberty of laying out the items and trying to organize them on who belonged to who and what belonged to who. Any of this his stuff?
I remember when he went to make to get the components he needed to make this, as he used to go over to the Red Dragon armor. He went on a special hunt to retrieve the scales, but had to go down to your shop to see some magical oil to coat the scales.
Ah, yes. Oh,
Came
yes.
back.
Get off the stage,
Great.
Two Legs. I remember him fondly.
You know your testing ground makes many adventurers just have a negative view of it afterwards.
Well, let's face it. If adventurers can't handle something as simple as being put through a test, they shouldn't be going out into the real world where they could actually get hurt. They may not like me afterwards, but they may get a good eye-opener of what it's like to be expecting the unexpected.
It's Bo. He worked so hard to craft. Been through 3 stages of cover upgrades. Originally crafted by a friend of ours up north. and enchanted by a cyclops, and the magic scroll gotten in hell. But she starts digging through the stuff, like, and finds this. Is it still intact?
I
She
mean,
goes through the rings. One left.
is that what I think it is?
Yes. At least I assume there's one wish left.
Delric just visibly shudders, just shakes, and he goes, "You have to be careful with a wish. A wish can be very vague, and a wish can be very dangerous if pushed to its limits."
Yes, fate of the universe can be unkind with that if it's not properly worded right. It's funny when they upgraded this bow for the final time. He used the second charge of it to bring back Nixley. There was or Nix. So there was still a body there. It would be harder without a body.
Well, it's not a body, but the tiefling fellow that was here did drop off these, and he looks really miserable, and he walks over to the table and pushes aside the cloak that was on Sujetta's side and grabs a bag and brings it over to Myra, holding it very tenderly and gingerly, and says, it's not a body, but it's remnants. It would be a risk.
Poor Tabby. She's lost so much.
There's hers too. But I don't know.
You are known as do you know anyone who is quite skilled with words since the bard has left this universe?
I mean, I'm decent with words. Potions and lotions, where we sell potions and lotions. Came up with that myself. It might be best if you do it.
Do you wish me to bring Tabby's things to her house? Or what is to be done with her things?
I think that's a decision better left for Tokarov to deal with when he gets back. It may turn into use for someone else down the road. If I know Miss Tabby the way I think I do, she wouldn't want it to go to waste. Besides, if she comes back and somebody else has it, she'll just kick their ass and take it back. It's fine.
Her children, for lack of a better word, are asleep at home. I haven't exactly figured out how to break the news to them.
That is a conundrum. But do you intend on trying to wish both of them back?
What else can I do? The wedding. We were to be the date hadn't been set, but we would be betrothed. We be joined within the next month, within the next moon.
I do not fault you for trying to bring back your beloved Sajetta. What I do caution you about is, while Sajetta has someone to live for, Tabby does not anymore. She may reject coming back.
She has her children.
She has children, but she does not have her true love. There is a chance that when the door is open, she's not the one who walks through.
I cannot. I do not know how to. Though I am a druid, I have not learned how to. Do not know how to connect with the spirits of the dead.
There's no way to be sure. But
They pass beyond nature's boundaries.
if you would like, I could try to make the wish for you. And maybe it can touch her in a way that would make her want to come back.
As you said, we must be very careful of this. Especially must be careful. No body must especially make sure that they come back as their own race. Zed would not want to come back as anything but a centaur.
Well, the way I see it, if you're wanting such a powerful wish to be made, there could end up being repercussions. If you aren't willing to take on the repercussions, I can. I have been alive for a long time. I have done probably more stupider things than this, and I came out okay.
I don't know what to say. I was not expecting that. I know the reason why the wish ring was unused when Cinder got it in the astral plane was the former owner had used the wish and seemingly couldn't make wishes anymore. There's always that chance.
Well, if you want me to do it, and that happens to me, we can say you owe me one.
No, you are a powerful spellcaster. You will probably have much more likelihood of actually being able to learn such a powerful spell yourself. Where I doubt I will ever to grasp the power of making such a powerful spell without the use of the ring.
If you wish to make this, wish, I would recommend, instead of asking for Tabby to come back, ask to bring back a friend. Because being called to as yourself could be being called to return for no one. But returning for a friend can mean a lot.
Do you have a pen? I should write this down.
Yes. If you would like, Eric, I'll type it to you.
Oh, I was gonna pull up the chat that we had of a while back, but if you have it already ready,
I believe so.
it'd probably take. I mean, out of game, we know that there's gonna be some gaps in her what she was writing, but it would probably take a little bit of time to think through this. But you wouldn't spend days or days on it, maybe a couple hours. Oh, you're typing it. Are you
Yeah, I
typing
am. Sorry, I'm typing it.
it into that? Okay. Might just be easier for me to scroll up here. Here we go. I found October 31st. Right. Okay.
Oh, yep.
Alright, so she would slide the ring after spending a couple hours working on it. She would slide the ring onto her finger and say, most powerful spell a mortal could cast. It's daunting in some ways.
Just be ready and say it with your heart.
Little tear would kind of roll down her side of her face, and he said that. And I'd say, I wish that my betrothed Zeta and of the world of the clan. Oh, I forget the name of the clan for a moment. My wish that my betrothed Zeta's body and his friend would come here, reconstructed in the same shape as it was before he died, and his soul would return with all the memories and personality and knowledge it had fully intact in mind and body.
With that, the entire room flashes a bright light. And Durakar, you are walking through a plane you have never seen before. It's beautiful. It's stunning. There are trees everywhere, sprinkling petals along the ground. It is surreal. It is breathtaking. It is also overbearing and feels heavy in some way, shape, or form. It's nothing like you've ever experienced before. It's not bad. It's not dangerous. It's not tingling anything negative in the back of your head. We've been here a while wandering around. What have been your thoughts wandering through a place like this?
What would be my thoughts wandering in a place like this?
Yeah. You haven't seen anyone. And you've been walking, sitting, sleeping, missing your pillow for what feels like an eternity.
Probably be spending what feels like an eternity thinking about kind of his last fight, how he fell, how he could have fought better, what could have been done to him. He's not one to give up in a fight, and that's what led to his death.
Interesting. You make your way through the forest, and for the first time in what, like I said, what feels like an eternity, you hear something else. You hear the sound of feet coming towards you. Two sets of feet. And as the sound gets closer, you realize it's not feet. It's a clip-clop. And coming out through the trees and the bushes and the falling rose petals is somebody you haven't seen in a very long time. It's Sajetta. Sajetta, you have been wandering through this forest for quite a while as well. Your eternity doesn't feel like an eternity, but it feels like a really long time. What were you thinking about as you woke up in a place like this?
Let's see here. It isn't necessarily when he went down, Tabby was still up.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't know. We know that Tabby was also hit by the same sort of effect. Last thing he was said was he was expecting Tabby to be the one to use the ring.
So, would it be fair to think that you were walking around essentially waiting for that call?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, you come out of a set of trees. Again, beautiful cascading waterfall of petals from these, what could only be described as a cherry blossom trees. But you find in the middle of this kind of like open field area a familiar face. It's Durkar Thunderhorns.
I believe in a place like this, you probably wouldn't be. There's no reason to be on guard so much. So he probably, wandering on the forest, he might for a second raise his bow, but here he'd probably just peacefully be just kind of startled. And look over and recognize Durkar?
You're a familiar sight. Good to see someone I know around here.
It's a very strange place. I was not expecting to see anyone. Not expecting to see anyone here except perhaps as I have lost a few loved ones in my time.
So do you know where we are? It sounds like you know where we are. I've kind of just been walking.
Well, I have never have not studied the afterlife much, but I believe, but for the moment we are at least, for the moment at least, I am dead.
That would make a lot of sense.
We faced a Jabberwocky. Powerful well, what do you know is a Jabberwocky? We faced a powerful beast that mind controlled an ally of mine. Very powerful ally. He turned on us. I could see this spell coming.
Hmm.
In fact, it told him to use the powerful spell.
Yeah, that, who did it?
It was, Glennon was taken control by this powerful dragon.
That's not good.
But it is good again. It is good to see you again, my friend. It has been a long time.
That it has. Headless Horseman for me. I don't go down without a fight. I guess I went down eventually, if I'm here.
I have not been. I'm sorry, I just suddenly realized I haven't been around the guild hall much lately. I had not been up north preparing for the war. But if you were here also, it means you must have fallen in the great battle.
Yeah, I'm not one to give up in a fight, so I gave it my all. And, my all, well, unfortunately brings me here. I'm not complaining, though. It was a pretty good fight. But, I guess I'm dead.
Wonder about our foes.
So, where you walking to?
Hmm. When I was the disintegrate ball, when the creature told Glennon to disintegrate me, we had a mind link up. I told Tabby to. Tabby is one of the few who knows entirely what I possessed in life. I told Tabby to use something, call me back. I guess I am waiting, exploring this beautiful place until, although it seems so long, I don't know if did the. I guess I began to worry, did the dragons take them all? And is there no one left to call? Or does time pass differently here?
As you start to question that, Sujetta, um, there is a familiar, not a voice, but a familiar sensation that washes over you. A sensation of love, a sensation of warmth, caring, compassion, intelligence. Um, it's something that you realize you've been around this for a long time, but you start to feel a pull on you. It's a pull from your heart, and as you slowly look over to your shoulder, what you see is a door. A door opens. It shows up, and it slowly starts to open. Hey, see, I have an animation for this play. Are you gonna play?
Oh!
That's cool. That's cool.
If I leave it going, it just opens and shuts multiple times. so, so this door next to you opens, and inside looks like the cosmos. It is big. It is bright. It is absolutely beautiful, but also looks very dangerous. However, from through the door comes a small string, a gold string, and the string floats its way towards you as if being carried by a breeze, and it stops at your chest in line with your heart. And you have an inclination that if you take that string, something will happen. What do you do?
He looks over towards Durkar. The string only comes towards me.
Just you.
Perhaps there was a reason we met I've seen no other living soul in here, in this place, besides you. Perhaps there is a reason why we met this time.
Definitely have been the first person I've seen in, a long time.
Since there is no, I believe there's no room for secrecy in a place like this. There was, when I had in my possession a ring of wish with one final use. In the last moment, I told Tabby to use it if Glennon's spell was able to overcome me. I believe Tabby is in the other end of the string, and our world. It's the mighty Durakar Thunderhorns can face a door.
Doors ain't nothing.
Doors.
Doors are secret.
The deadliest of doors.
His hand would go to the string and hold on to the string as it connects to his heart.
Perfect. So as you reach out to touch the string, it circles around your finger and moves to trace itself up your arm and all the way across your chest down to your heart, where it penetrates inside of you. It doesn't hurt, but you can definitely see it disappearing into you with a soft glow. And you begin to unconsciously follow the string as it pulls you towards the door, and you disappear inside of it, and the door slams shut and then disappears into the darkness, leaving Durakar by himself.
Yeah, I wanted to be alone. That's what I was going for.
You're all alone.
Alright,
There's no one
back
here
to walking.
beside you. Great. As you start to walk, you find yourself in an area you had not seen before. As if a conversation with a friend has opened your eyes to more than just plains of forest everywhere. And you come into an area that looks like it is filled with water. A high seas, if you will. However, there is a staircase that floats up into the sky. And above you is the universe itself. There are lines of people climbing up this staircase that seems to evaporate into the sky and disappear into the cosmos. And one of the people that you see standing at the base of the staircase is a dragonborn. And she seems to be staring up at the staircase. And on her back is a cloak with the symbol of the Dungeon Delvers Guild on it. But it looks like it's a very old and worn symbol.
Okay, thank you for that. Because I was gonna be like, I'm like Thanos right now with I don't know who the hell you are. 'Cause I don't think they've ever met.
They have not. That is very true.
Well, so that obviously this is a symbol I recognize.
Yep.
So I guess I'd kind of walk up, past, that's me, and try. I don't know how people work here,
if I put my hand on their shoulder, does it pass through? Or is it physical?
It's physical. Your hand slaps down on a hard shoulder. And the body in front of you jerks in surprise. And she whirls around, honey brown eyes staring at you. Your height, maybe even a little bit taller. Because I think you're 6'1", aren't you?
I am 6'2".
Tabby is 6'3", so she's got an inch on you. So she's about an inch taller than you. And do you wear the guild insignia at all?
I never thought about that. But if they gave out pins, he'd probably pin it to his outfit.
All right, you have the new version, so you have a pin of the Dungeon Delvers Guild on your chest. Sure, why not?
Yeah.
We'll go with that. The Dragonborn whirls around in surprise, someone touching her, and she sees your insignia, and she looks at you and says, "Are you from the DDG?"
Yeah, I saw your symbol. Take it you're from Guild 2?
Yeah. Tabby.
Durakar.
I've heard of you. I say you're pretty strong.
I might have heard of you, memory issues.
Eh.
A lot of drinks.
A lot of drinks. A lot of cracking heads.
You know it.
Cracking your own head. Yeah. I totally get it.
So how'd you die?
Well, I was with a couple people. We were on a mission fighting a big, huge, I don't know, it was like a weird dragon jabbering thing. And then it got control of a party member, and out of their own control, they killed me. I mean, it took a monster controlling one of the strongest wizards in the entire guild to kill me, so a little bit of bragging rights, but they didn't want to do it. And they didn't have a choice.
This sounds mighty familiar.
Familiar?
Yeah, I've heard this story before from a different perspective. I've been walking for a while. I met Sujetta here.
Sujetta
Not here. Yeah, he thought you were wishing him back.
Nope.
He's not here anymore. He went through a door, and then I kept walking. I found myself here. Do you know what this? I mean, this place is obviously dead, but do you know what?
You don't know where you are.
I'm in the afterlife.
Uh-huh. But where do you... Tabby kind of, you see like her clawed hand goes against her face and she kind of like pulls it down. She goes, "Look, it makes sense that you would come to the smartest person of the guild to ask this question. But this this is known as Valhalla. If you die in battle in Blaze of Glory, this is where you go." So all those guys, and she points up to the staircase that you see, and there's just a line of people, all different races, size, colors, shapes, classes, but everybody looks like they have gone through something traumatic, and this is their kind of coming through with it. But at the top of the stairs, where it morphs into stars and shimmers and dust and floats up into the air, you see every individual that steps into that, in a very brief flash of light, disappears. And it looks like the mass that's floating up into the air is a little bit more dense with each person that steps through. And Tabby, having been here not a long time, but enough to learn, kind of looks at you, Durkar, and says, well, you can either go back to wandering, I guess, or you can choose to pass on. And she kind of gestures to the stairs. By talking to some of the people that are here, it seems like those who think that they can get back stay here. And those who either can't get back or don't want to get back go up there.
Interesting. So if I want to go back, I won't. But if I don't want to go back, I go to Valhalla.
Yeah. And that's where all those people are choosing to go. This is the passageway there. But once you go there, you can't go back. And I've just been standing here debating on where to go. But that ain't your problem. That's mine. And as she says that, behind both of you pops a door. And the door seems to swing open and shut. And there is a string on the other end of the door that looks like it's trying to make its way through, but can't. And at the top of the door lists a word. And the word says friend.
I just look at Tabby. I'm kind of pointing at myself, pointing at her. I'm like pointing at the door, like, this me, this you, this any of the number of people on this staircase. It probably seems like me and you. This or me or you. This seems, I don't know. It seems something.
Did you order room service, dude? Because I didn't.
I just got here.
I don't know how long I've been here. At least you have some concept of time. The door swings open one more time before slamming shut. And surrounding it turns into a golden aura. And Tabby just kind of gestures towards the door and she's like, if you want it, seems like you've been here longer than me. Go.
Yeah, I got some unfinished business. I won't. I got some people back home. I don't mind a door.
Give me a strength check.
Do you want me to unequip all of my stuff?
Yep, and I want it at disadvantage.
Sure, I'm unattuned to all my strength boosting stuff. Okay. Disadvantage. Strength? Just straight strength.
Yep. Strength check, disadvantage. Yikes. You go to pull in the door, and there's not a budge at all to it. It seems to provide an additional barrier with this golden glow that it has, that your hands can't seem to get a solid grasp on the handle, and it doesn't seem to give. Tabby kind of stares at you for a second and says, can't open a door?
I can open a door. I don't think the door wants me to open it.
That's not how doors work. Open the door.
I'm trying.
Give me another roll with disadvantage. Oh, not bad.
That's what I look for.
Not bad. That's better. So you give a pull to the door, and there seems to be a little bit of a crack in it, as if it's trying to move, but the hinges just won't give. Tabby kind of lets out a little sigh, and she says, "Is that really how strong you are? I heard you were stronger."
Oh, I am strong! And I will go into a rage.
Okay. Roll me just a straight strength check, please.
I've been rolling my saving. Sorry.
You have. It's okay. Not bad. So, now that you're rolling the right one, and I had a feeling that was your mod, this time you pull on the door, and you're in your rage. You give it a chug, give it a pull and yank. It budges a little bit, but it can't seem to break through that golden seal that's on there. And Tabby just kind of like runs her hand along her face again. She goes, "What? How can you not open a door?" Look. Calm down and come over here. And she's kind of like rubbing her forehead and flagging you over.
Knowing this is probably my only way out, I go to, like, in just pure anger, go punch the door, but I kind of hold back a little bit, and, like...
You're gonna live. You probably don't want to destroy your way out. I kind of mutter to myself.
You're not wrong.
And then walk back.
So, let me get this straight. When you rage in fury, right?
Yes, that's what I do. I rage out of anger. I rage out of fury. I rage to kill. I rage to open a damn door.
You rage wrong. And as she says
What do you mean wrong?
As she says this, and as you question her, she goes into her version of a rage. And from her come golden spirits, all dragonborns, different age, different ancestry, large, small, all wielding different weapons. Some have a bow, some have a maul, some have a greatsword, some have a longsword and shield, some have a glaive, some have a hammer, and she has about I don't think about this. She has about 8 of them, and they all line up with her before they all slowly start to circle around you, Durakar, creating a vivid golden circle. And at the point, well, I guess there's not a point in a circle, but there's Tabby, and then everything else around her is golden dragonborns. And she looks at you and says, "Stop raging for anger. Rage to protect. And open that door, because there are people on the other end of that door who need you to protect them. If you have a reason to go back, better be a damn good one." What do you do?
And how do you say I do that? I've raged out of anger my entire life. I'm a berserker.
Your rage does nothing but consume you. Instead of it consuming you, make it consume others. And the best way to do that is by being a protector. There's gotta be people in your life that you care about. People that you would want to protect. Whether they seem like they're the strongest of the strong or the weakest of the weak, there's gotta be people that you want to protect. stop raging to fight. Rage to win for the sake of protecting others.
Yeah, there's at least two people I care to protect. One of them definitely needs it. He's kind of a chump, very weak, scrawny. He'd break a bone if he tried lifting a weapon. He needs it.
Sounds like they need it. I recognize that. She points towards the door, and you see all of the dragonborn spirits, their heads all turned to the door. And it's at that moment that you realize that the same color that is on that door are the same colors as the dragonborns that are surrounding you. She goes, that is my kind of rage. That is what I do. And that is what you must do to open the door. You need to rage to protect those you care about. And it can't just be minimal. You have to protect those who need it. Whether it is your friends, whether it is your family. And if you've ever walked around the guild hall, you know those people are dumb. And so we, as the smartest people in the guild, have to protect them. Will you stop raging for anger and will start raging to protect others?
I'll certainly give it a shot.
There is no shot. There is do or don't.
Been angry my entire life. It's kind of a bit of a, shock to the system, I guess, to kind of just rage for a different reason.
You have a reason now. You rage for your friends. You rage for your family. You rage for the guild. Now you rage for everybody but yourself. Can you do that?
Kind of like stops to ponder for a second, because, he's also smart with -1 bullets. And then he looks at Tabby, cracks his knuckles, cracks his neck, and kind of slams his fist on his chest a little bit to kind of like buff himself up, and says, yeah, I can do that. I'm a big guy. I can protect people. Look at me. I'm big enough to protect people, keep them behind me, keep them safe.
Keep them safe, be strong, and allow me to give you 2 things that will help you along your journey.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't have them here with me. So as you can imagine, I cannot give you your spirit physical items, but here is what you will do. You need to track down my stuff. In my stuff are 2 particular items. One of them is a great sword. It is strong, it is sturdy, and it's within my family's lineage to have it, and I want you to carry it now. The sword itself was carved at the Skyforge and holds a power that will help you protect against evil. The second thing was forged for me in the Forge of the Cyclops and will help you be stronger than anyone else. Take these 2 things, wield them to the best of your abilities, and protect everyone who is in need. Will you do that?
Oh yeah, I will.
All right. And Tabby looks over and she grabs you by your shoulders and, to a strangely familiar sensation to you, gives you a headbutt. And as she does, you see the eight dragonborns around you start to morph and shift and change. They grow in height. They become stockier. They become bigger build. Their weapons change. Their looks change. Horns grow upon their heads. A tail flicks out behind them. They become muscular. They look angry, but they look focused. And another one pops up because I believe you're level 9 in Barbarian. Another one shows up. Someone who looks more recent. Maybe a father? Maybe a grandfather? And as Tabby steps back from you, you notice that her golden glow is gone. And now you possess a golden glow. And she points towards the door and she goes, "Rip that bitch open and get out there."
I immediately turn around to face the door, and I will indeed go into a rage, knowing the people on the other side of that door, knowing that, of course, listen, they're gonna die without me over there. I gotta protect them. They're weak. Of course, obviously. And I go into a rage, and I will just bull charge that door, just bull rush it.
Awesome. Roll me a strength check with advantage.
Watch me get nat 1.
Once you get 2 nat ones.
That's not a nat 1. That first roll was scary.
So you crack open the door, bang, and in front of you is the universe itself. And Tabby, standing at the foot of the doorway, watches as before you the 9 Minotaurs all flood out and grab onto that string for you and hold on to that golden string. And Tabby shouts from behind you. She says, "No one's gonna believe you that you met me. But when you go get my stuff, if they give you any quarrels, you tell them my story of why I'm the smartest person in the guild. Because apparently, no one knows that, and I'm not sure why. But the truth is, you never light a sconce after the first one you lit brings out a damn ghost. You tell that to the guild master. He'll believe you."
Makes perfect sense to me.
"Thank you!" And you just see her look like relieved that somebody finally understands why she is now the smartest person in the guild. And as you bull rush through the door,
I want to get one final word before I go through the door.
Go for it.
I kind of, as all this is happening, I look back at Tabby as she finishes, and I just say, "From one great warrior to another, thank you, and I'll remember you."
See that you do. And protect that guild. They're full of weaklings, you know that.
Yeah, it is.
You take off through the door and disappear into the darkness. And Tabby is left there by herself. And she turns around and looks up at the staircase. And a single foot begins to climb. Back in the office, the ashes of Sajetta slowly start to rise from the ground, twitching and shaking and encompassing themselves within the light. And Sajetta comes back in form in front of the two, who, at least Delric, is stunned that this worked. However, as Sajetta comes back, he doesn't feel as healthy. He doesn't feel as dexterous, so he will be taking the the hits to those as we had discussed before. And his hindquarters has turned an ash gray in remembrance to how he had fallen before. From ashes to ashes, dust to dust, Sujeta has risen again. Delric's shocked, runs his hands through his white hair, and he's like, "Oh my god, it worked. Murray, you did it. It worked. Oh my god." And he's just flabbergasted at the fact that Sujeta is now standing before him.
She would say my love in Sylvan, and as they would embrace, and he would say they would speak in Sylvan for a little bit, and say, like, "What are you doing here? I expected to be on the battlefield and with Tabby." Why? Where in the guild hall?
Delric's face kind of drops, hearing that Sujeta had expected to be brought back on the battlefield with Tabby, and he kind of like purposely positions himself in front of Tabby's things, which is really stupid for a scrawny elf to try to position himself in front of a giant ass greatsword and a giant ass maul, but he's trying to make it less
9
obvious.
foot, 9 foot, almost 10 foot tall centaur.
Yep. He's trying. He has good intentions, but it's just not exactly the smartest intentions, that's all.
He would say, like, "You asked Tabby to do this? Tabby didn't make it. She isn't with you?" Tabby didn't make it back. She suffered the same fate as you. She suffered the same fate as you, my love. Only what, two? Only 2 people returned. One, Glennon wandered off into no one knows where. Only 2 people came back. This wasn't his fault. But
Well,
no, didn't see Tabby in the world beyond.
well, if you didn't see her in the world beyond, maybe she's okay. And you could just see Delric's like trying to be helpful, but is firmly aware that he's not at this point. But he's trying.
Milo would look down. "Oh, I didn't say color." The first time she then looked down like, "My legs." "That's alright." Milo was like, "That's alright. I don't care what color you are. I love you. I am, and that you are not going on another mission until we are one. Until we have made ourselves one before the spirits." Agreed.
And as these two lovebirds embrace for a final reuniting, and Delric kind of awkwardly standing there because he doesn't really know how to handle the whole situation, we will cut to Durkar. The guardians that you have embraced are pulling along the string, using it to climb and rip themselves through this astral area, and they're pulling themselves along with you through the planes, and you don't have to make any effort. They're doing it for you. But it's fascinating to float through such an area because it's kind of like what a dear sister had described to you for what she sees, what she experiences. There's a weird familiarity, though normally covered in chaos, as you're floating through this. And the door reappears, and you end up here.
Ooh.
You appear at the base-ish of a giant Minotaur statue. You step into this area someplace you've never been. Someplace that you've never experienced, and yet feels oddly familiar. And as you look down at the base of the statue, you see lying there is a sword crafted of beautiful dwarven archetype. A lot of passion, a lot of a lot of good craftsmanship went into this piece as it lays on the ground at the feet of the Minotaur. There are a couple other things there as well. There is a giant, fluffy-looking pillow that may or may not be missing some feathers. But a giant, fluffy pillow nonetheless. A bracelet with a crystal on it. And a small, not small, but a decent-sized wooden ring. What would you like to do?
First of all, I've had a long day, so obviously the pillow's the first thing I grab.
Okay.
Obviously.
Obviously.
And then, I would, grab the sword. And then, slowly grab the jewelry and, 'cause I feel like it's safe to assume I recognize some of it.
You recognize all of it.
And then, I would put them on.
Okay.
Put on the bracelet, put on the ring.
So you put on the bracelet, and it's familiar on your wrist, as you've definitely worn this before. Your sister has given this to you.
I, mistook for a necklace for a long time.
You sling this great sword on your back, feeling the weight of the weapon. It gives you a little bit of familiarity to it. And it makes you think of the sword that Tabby had mentioned, as all the memories of what had happened comes flooding back to you. But as you put on the ring, there's a small pause before a cascade of emotions come through. At first you feel confusion. Very strong confusion. And then you feel surprise. Like someone just got slapped. And then you feel sadness, a deep, waving depression, intense, powerful, a loss, in a sense. And then there's a small break in between the feeling of loss and the following feeling. The following feeling that you get is a weird mix.
That's quite the point.
Boop. We'll go back to here. So that is my one-on-one shot with my two lovely players. Sajetta and Durakar are both back in the world of Erden. Tabby is, no, who knows? And I hope you guys had a wonderful time. I had fun writing this.
I feel it appropriate to ask this question so that the universe knows as well. I assume I am no longer a berserker.
That is correct.
Would you like to tell me what I am?
you are now the barbarian path of ancestral guardians.
You can dig it.
And as a restriction for it, you cannot rage unless you are doing it to protect someone else or something
Okay.
else. So
Okay.
you can only rage if it's to protect.
All right, I dig it. I will write that down somewhere. Because you know me, I'll forget it.
You will forget it, and then you'll be in one of my games, and I'll be like, "Excuse you, you can't rage to open that door."
What do you mean? I'm protecting everyone from the evil door. No, that's an exception.
The door's a mimic.
The door is a mimic. That will be the only time you get to rage while dealing with a door. So, anyway, thank you guys so much for letting me run this. I had a blast. I'd been thinking about this forever, and I'm sorry it took us so long to do it, but I hope you both had a good time.
Yep. I
Yeah.
love the story you put together for reasons and changes and things like that. And the animations are cool. And at some point, we'll have see the wedding, and I'll run a game with the wedding, and inviting guests will be invited, and we'll see what happens.
Yay! That's awesome. Alrighty, well, as always, this is the end of the game. So for now, everybody say goodbye to YouTube.
Bye, you
Bye.
do.
Bye, YouTube. Happy dungeon delving, everyone.